retired Patrick Nelson Sogbojo. We spoke to him during the accident, and now that the report is out, we want to ask him what he makes of it. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you for your listening.
I don't know if you listened to the report today, but if you haven't, I'll summarize for you what the causes were based on the committee. They said there were adverse.
I think they've done a comprehensive job.
Oh, they have.
They have done but there were a few things which maybe one has to look at. I mean, at the time of the accident, we're looking at, and I kept saying that we should find out what happened for the aircraft to lose height. And then, fortunately, the airplane had been exonerated, the pilots exonerated. Now, the third factor was weather, which nobody has control over the weather. And instant weathers can generate, and depends on your training, your qualification to be able to evict it, and the kind of instruments you have. That is all. But I think it's on the fault of the pilots or the aircraft.
If we're looking for someone to blame still, then the only person we can blame is the environment, correct?
Thank you.
Okay. What about if we decide to go further and say that the maintenance of the aircraft is to blame, or the lack thereof? So if you look at the causes of the accident, they say that the aircraft had some limitations. They said the aircraft was airworthy. However, it lacked critical avionic safety systems such as the terrain awareness.
I got that point.
Yes.
I got that.
So can we not say that if we had installed these things, the plane would not have crashed, or the aircraft would not have crashed?
No, sir. You can still have them and say crash.
How?
Weather is weather. The enhancement he's talking about, these planes have been flying all over the years. And by the time he was being trained, I was trained outside the country. At that time, flight simulators and not, and we used what they call link trainers. And when he was also being trained, well, of course, the head of the commission, Akron, flew the same plane as me. You may have every type of instrument on the airplane. Accidents are accidents. I hope you understand me. In that small helicopter, you can't fit all the gadgets inside. And moreover, when you go to buy an airplane, planes are not made for the air forces and the civil. They are the same. It depends on the gadgets you want. They will be fitted and you pay for it. It's like buying a car. I want certain gadgets inside a car. They are extra. But what we have in these helicopters does not debar them to fly in all weather conditions in this country. That's what they've been doing over the years. So it doesn't really matter if they didn't have them. It was just purely an upwind downstruck which struck the aircraft and it went down.
So should we say that this avionic system that has been talked about is considered just an additional enhancement?
Yes, they are additional when you are buying the aircraft.
So it's not supposed to be, it's not a foundational part of the aircraft?
It's not standard. I mean, for example, this Z-9, some of them fly just over the sea. What you may need to fly over forest is different from what you may need to fly on the sea. So you request that particular type to be put there, and they'll put it and charge you. So there's no standard equipment aboard the aircraft. So what he's talking about is very, very modern equipment. And this equipment he mentioned could not have averted the crash being weather.
That's interesting, because I noticed that in the recommendations they make, that comes up for mention. So in trying to prevent this, and the reason for recommendation obviously would be to prevent. And so they talk about modernize the Ghana Air Force fleet with aircraft equipped with terrain awareness and modern navigation systems. Now, that presupposes that if we do this, we'll prevent a future crash. And they even talk about installing cockpit voice and flight data recorders and so on.
Well, there will be enhancement, but let me ask you a question. This very Z-9 or other Mi-10s we have, they've been flying this country all over. Have you had any incident? No. What is recommended are enhancements. But the capability, airworthiness of the aircraft is what we are talking about. If the aircraft is not airworthy, the pilot will not fly it. From here to Boise, it doesn't need all kinds of these gadgets before you can get to Boise. I hope you understand. And then we can also have scattered navigational aids from here. How often do you go to Boise? If we're talking about Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, yes, these are the fly routes. But you're going off course to Boise. Who will put the gadgets there for you to do what?
So when
they are okay, yes, they are okay to enhance the aircraft, but then it doesn't prevent you from getting into weather where this thing resulted.
So when they recommend that we should develop national en route navigational aids, especially in remote areas, they actually mean we should go and plant some gadgets.
Yes, you have to plant gadgets there.
And it's not as if we plant them and leave them. We have to maintain them. Is that what it is?
Thank you.
Which means then that we should map the whole country then and put these. Is that what it
means? Which we can't do. I've flown in Brazil, I've flown in Italy, I've flown in US. It's not possible. You know, when I was talking to you some time ago, they talked about the coordinating of the place. Now, who were going to coordinate the place? You have soldiers scattered all over the country, and especially when you're flying over a heavy forested area. You're up there, you can't see the villages down there. But the villagers did the best they could. And the search and rescue team, it took them 2.5 to 3 hours to get there. Much as they're saying that they should enhance the aircraft, I agree with it, but it couldn't have prevented this accident. Because the airplanes have more gadgets than what it's talking about, and they run the same difficulties and they crash.
The way you
it's unfortunate.
The way you are sounding is as though this is an accident and we must take it as an accident and nothing more.
Thank you.
We can't blame anyone.
You can't blame it. It's the weather which caused it. And you see, it happened
so can we say that in advanced countries they don't have solutions to this weather problem?
Oh, but they crashed. I mean, about 4 months ago, a U.S. military aircraft helicopter flew into a Silver airliner close to the airport and killed 78 people in the U.S. just about 3 months ago. It took about 2 months for the report to come out. So countries who are even more advanced, accidents happen.
Finally, today during the presser, one journalist asked a question, and I wanted to re-emphasize that question and ask you whether we ought to have been told what was heard in the cockpit recorders if there was any such device. Would it be for public consumption if we heard what maybe the last minute messages would have been so that would give us an impression what challenges were encountered? Because people may have doubts in their minds.
You know, when you are training as pilot, sometimes you do bad weather flying intentionally to see how you can get out of it. Now, even they play the voice recorders of public, what use should it be? What the inquiry is to come out with solutions and ideas to enhance future flying. But if they play the voice recorder to the public, what was it going to achieve? We shouldn't go that direction. We come to a way that people want to know everything. But it wouldn't help the situation. They found out what happened, and let's hold on it as an accident. But playing voice recorders to public doesn't mean, I haven't seen anywhere in the world where they play voice recorder before a crash or after crash. It doesn't happen that way.
Very well. Thank you so much.
The government, if our economy is good, they can enhance some gadgets, but not ideal gadgets are what they are talking about.
Very well.
You know, Airforce are trained, and you see what we train. You train the basic pilot. Military is giving additional pilot. Fighter pilot I did, I'm giving additional pilot training. So that's why I talked about the capability and the qualification on the people who were flying the airplane. You know, and it's just an accident.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Okay.
That's Wing Commander retired Patrick Nelson Sogbojo. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM. To someone